Hi, Ricardo.
Thanks for joining me on such short notice.
Oh, no worries. I just wanted to hop on, just make sure that I know how to navigate in here, so I can
Yeah,
help support you.
so I'm gonna leave the all-in-one virtual space, and I don't think that'll pop me off of here. I'm still here, yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna put the slide deck in there so you have access to it. Copy link. And there's mostly bit.lys on most of the slides. And that'll lead you to it, but there's the slide deck for today.
Okay.
So people just pop in, huh? Whenever you open it, people just pop in. Hi, Diana. We
Yeah.
haven't started yet. We'll start at 10. Thanks for coming, though. You could access the deck and sign in and all that.
Yeah.
And then I will, oh, I'm supposed to turn chat off and turn it on because otherwise it doesn't work. So boom, and then boom. Go ahead and have I made you co-host yet? No, right?
I believe so, because I was able to join first, and I
Oh,
don't
you
think
opened
anyone
it.
else.
Oh, get down.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fantastic. Diana, you want to test out the chat for us, see if it works? That would be great. That's the only hitch in this well, it's one of
There we
several
go.
hitches. But it's the clearest one anyway. I'm there. Hi there. Hi, Diana. Thank you very much for trying
Welcome.
to check out. All right. So now I am going to I suppose just share my slides, right? I want this over here. Share. And you could see that, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah? Okay. So we'll do the slideshow. And that's how we'll start. I won't put music on. Sometimes I get distracted by music. I hope that's okay for everybody. Let's see. So let me actually. There, that's the one I want. So there's the bit.ly, Jennifer.
I'm sorry, the Dewey?
The bit.ly.
Uh-huh.
So the shortcut to the slide deck is there.
Hold on 1 second.
Welcome, folks. Welcome. We'll get started at about 10 o'clock. This is a pretty low-key tool getting session. I really enjoyed the keynote this morning.
Oh, I did too. I always enjoy the keynotes.
Yeah. No, it's very cool.
Great inspiration.
Hey, participants, can you guys test out to see if your mic works? If you open it up and say good morning. I'm just wondering if it works or not.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, great. Thank you very much. And you guys could hear me okay?
Good morning.
Hey,
Yes.
hey. All right, fantastic. So go ahead and grab that bit.ly.
Yep.
Everybody else, you can grab that bit.ly. It'll take you to the slide deck. And we'll start promptly at 10. All right. And Jennifer, just to clarify again, they only have to sign in once, yeah, for the whole day?
Do it once, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, fantastic. So we don't need to look at this slide. Well, we could have it as people walk in. If you haven't signed in yet, please sign in and you'll get credit for the day. Go ahead, if you haven't logged in, go ahead and log in, sign in for the day. And I believe you only have to sign in once. Not to be repetitive, we'll get started promptly at 10. All right. Those are my kids at Hoover this past year, designing some either radio documentaries that we were working on, and then some feedback sessions in the classroom on some book talks, I think. All right, folks, we're about a minute in. We're about to get started. All right. I'm glad Zoom events is working for you all. We will not test out breakout rooms this morning because if you're on the web browser, then Zoom breakouts doesn't work, or if you're on a Chromebook, Zoom breakouts doesn't work. I do have to test it out this afternoon, so I'm not looking forward to that. All right, folks, welcome. This is from mild to spicy portfolio tools in SFUSD. And what that simply means is that you either use one pretty simple tool or you get to the spicy level and you're using all 3, 4 different tools as you have your students design portfolios of their learning. Go ahead and in the chat, put your name, school, grade, and what was your best use, creative, fun, engaging, your best use of a digital tool this year. We'll be spying on the chat. I'm pretty sure it works because we tested it just a little while ago. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Brandon. Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Rachel. Yeah, so go ahead and jump in the chat and let us know. Good morning, Michelle. Lynn from Sunset, good morning. Tamara Morris from Spring Valley, good morning. Latrice Earth at Carver, good morning. Rachel Sunnyside, good morning. And Rachel at Sunnyside used Google Slides and wheelsofnames.com, a new tool. Andrea, she used the best use was dance choreography reels. Oh, how fun. Kamara says, watching my grandson surf on YouTube. The USA Surf Contest, fantastic. Anybody else, go ahead and put your best use of technology of a digital tool this year and your name and your school. Balboa Buccaneers, the Buccaneers made podcasts this year. Cool, fantastic. Michelle Soda makes podcasts as well. Fantastic. That's great. Cool. We're gonna move forward. That's all right with everybody. Keep going ahead and putting your information in the chat. And let's see. I'm Dr. Ricardo Elizalde, digital learning partner with the Department of Technology. I became a PBS certified media literacy educator, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what that means. I'll get to it shortly. Need to learn more tech, just a little bit at a time, Jill. And Christina, Coach Jamboards is a good tool. So today's agenda, warm opener, we just kind of did it in the chat. Intro to mild to spicy tools, one pager, which I designed because I was getting a bunch of questions about what are the different tools that the district has. And so in one place to find them all, to find how to access them, to find out how to open them up. So like, for example, Google Sites, there's a specific way that you need to open it up for your students. And so that we go into that a little bit. And then I'm going to introduce you to a HyperDoc that I made that also has some good tools for portfolio development in your class. Tools like feedback tools. And I think mostly it's the feedback tools. And then you're going to get a glimpse at the digital portfolio website that has a lot more resources for you. That's the link for today. I'm pretty sure everybody has access. If you don't, my colleague Jennifer will put it in the chat and you could access it there. Everything that I'm presenting today is available for students. So just, this is, I believe Sue's asked this question, yeah? So everything that it's for students as well, as you. You might want to embark on it and test it out yourself first. And then we're going to move forward. Mild, medium, and spicy tools. All right, so here's the document. But before I get into the document, I'm going to go over a few highlights of the document. We're going to explore it with this lens. What do you think teachers use currently? What is something that you could add to your repertoire this year? So we don't have to grab everything. We can just grab something simple. And then if you have any questions, you can ask at the end of the session. You're going to get a chance to explore this document. And plus don't load the slides from chat. Can you type in the bit.ly? You open up a new URL, a new window, and type in that bit.ly mild to spicy that's there at the bottom of the slide. Try that. All right, here we go. So this is the mild quick start portfolio. It is 2 documents that work in tandem. One is a slide deck that works with the brainstorm doc. And there's also a student self-evaluation and a 1-point rubric that students can use to score themselves on. If we go into the brainstorm doc, it looks like this. It has instructions for the student here. you can drop down. There's this table of contents. So this is set up for like an elementary school, like 3rd through 5th grade. If you wanted to start very simply with portfolios, this is a nice way to get started. There's the portfolio development strategy where you would have your kids answer some of these questions. And then finally create a collage of sorts. And that will become the cover of that slide deck. And so that's a very simple way to get started. And it has all these other tools in tandem. So that brainstorm doc corresponds with this slide deck. And then there's also a self-evaluation tool and a 1-point rubric that you could use. And you'll get a chance to explore that further in just a little bit. Some examples from our D-Leaf strand, there's the virtual galleries, there's virtual museums. So if you are presenting information, students can use these templates to present. So the whole class can present via these museums, and students can come to it and go into these links and check that out. Washington High School, AP Spanish. I think this is a specific example of somebody that used that Quick Start portfolio. And so she used it in her class exactly the way we laid it out, and had her kids make videos and had her kids reflect on different things that they were doing. And so it does work well. And plus, a big part of a portfolio is to have like specific reflection questions. And so there's this doc that you'll see in just a little bit, but she used this document to have her kids reflect as well. And it's all built into that Quick Start portfolio doc. Any questions so far? Or you guys, shall I continue? All right. Glad you got it, Jill. There's a section where you could do Seesaw as portfolios, and there's a section in the Quick Start in the mild, medium, and spicy doc that shows you how to create portfolios on Seesaw. And there's a video having where a teacher is interviewed about how she did it. This is a spicy portfolio. And I'll give you a chance to explore Calvin's portfolio, but this was one of my guys this past year who, for every assignment, not every assignment, but the big assignments that we did, we also had like an art component to it. And this kid, he chose kind of like the same color palette for all his different art pieces. And then at the end of the year, he had this really nice, wonderful portfolio. And you're gonna get a chance to see how he embedded into his Google site. He embedded an Adobe Spark web page. And so if you hit that link, you get to check that out. And I'll give you a chance to check those things out in just a second. So now we're gonna go to the doc. So actually, for the exploration point, explore any of these links that you see here. And then also go into this document and explore whatever it is that you want to learn. Pick a new thing, pick something that you've used and see if it can help you. I will say something about Google Sites. The way in the district that we open up Google Sites, and I think we open it up from 3rd through 12th grade, but we essentially strongly request that you go through 3 digital citizenship or digital agency lessons. And so from privacy and security, digital footprint, and digital drama. And so you can go into these, and those are the lessons themselves on Common Sense Media. And once you have covered all of this for like the grade level, let's say your 4th graders are making portfolios and everybody in the 4th grade has done the 3 lessons, then you have your school principal. Actually, I think it's different. I think all you got to do is promise that you're going to do these lessons, and the principal fills out the form, and then we open up Google Sites for you. And then every year, if you could do lessons from each of those spaces, then it remains open. And so I got it open for Hoover Middle School last year when I was there. And, you know, we ran through these lessons, and it was really important learning for the students to make sure about when they're sharing their information, how to go about not being a bully, how to go about being careful with your footprint, and making sure that things are private and secure. So yeah, so go through this document. You could turn cameras off if you like for about 10 minutes. I'll welcome you back in about 10 minutes, and we could talk further. Yeah, that's it. That's the task at hand right now. And if you have any questions, please ask. The doc that you're exploring is right in the chat. You're welcome, Kevin. Christina, so it's asking you to log in with your district credentials. Can do you have the district credentials yet? No, you need access from Calvin's. I mean. As you guys explore, I need access. What? He changed it? What? No. Oh man. Calvin's being a responsible digital citizenship, and he changed the settings on his portfolio, which is fantastic, but frustrating because I didn't check it beforehand. I mean, all right. I'll check this. Great, thank you, Christina. So this is an example of an Adobe Spark piece embedded within a Google site. I'll just walk through this right quick. This is my portfolio on the micro credentials I have in the disk with KQED. So this is within Google Sites. For those of you who are trying to look at Calvin's, it loads, you embed it into Google Sites, and then you can share it within Google Sites as well. And so this is what it looks like. And it's fairly simple to make an Adobe Spark page, and it's really spectacular looking as well. And so it's a good tool to give kids to play with and to develop as you go through the year. As a matter of fact, in my in my afternoon workshop session, we're going to concentrate mostly on Adobe Spark Pages and build portfolios within those. And we're going to kind of just hit like the medium range of spiciness for that workshop. So that's what it looks like. Say about 5 more minutes.
Do elementary students have access to Adobe Spark?
Yeah, all students have access to Adobe Spark.
Okay.
Like full on access. And there's like 3 really fantastic tools within Adobe Spark. One is the collage maker. The other one, which is you can manipulate images and stuff. And the other one is the video maker, which is a simple way to make videos. And the last one is Adobe Spark Pages. I'm not sure that we have the whole Adobe Spark suite. We have what's web-based, which is Adobe Express.com, and it's linked on that document as well. We had Adobe Spark for the pandemic. We didn't have the whole. We have the Adobe Express tools that are available there. So we still have that. And they're making updates on it as well, which is, I believe, upcoming is that you could use Adobe Rush and Adobe Photoshop Lite. That's likely, but it wasn't offered through the district. I think you could probably pay for it. So that's my answer to your question. Rachel, can you tell me your question again? It has a timed event for parent access.
Oh,
Yes.
well, I was just reading, it's on the Creative Virtual Gallery. So on option 5, it says publish to the web and send to families to share student work. And then when I went to the virtual museum, you know, it said, I was clicking through the slides and it was showing these different exhibits. Is there a way where, I guess my question is the access for the parents a certain time frame, or can they use it indefinitely?
I think it's up to you how to make the access for the parents.
Okay, so you just give them the website, like share the link with the families.
Yeah, you just share the link and make sure it's open for anyone with a link to share.
Okay.
And then if, you know, maybe at the end of the year, you want to close that.
I see. Okay, that was my follow-up question, because it's like once I have all these pictures and projects on my drive and then I wanted to delete them, then what happens to that link?
Yeah, you could just close the sharing. You could just
Gotcha.
restrict it again or delete
Okay.
that file.
Or delete the file. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So we're at 10:21, and so I gave you about 10 minutes to browse through the document. Was that enough time, or do you want a few more minutes, or do you want to chat about what you found? Let me know in the chat or open up the mic if you want a couple more minutes. By all means. And so there was somebody who asked me, whether the links on the mild, medium, and spicy document are gonna stay live, whether the links on this slide deck are gonna stay live, yes. The one thing, somebody said, can I make a copy of this? By all means, go ahead and make a copy. The only thing that if you make a copy of it and I update it with some new information, like I had to update the mild, medium, and spicy doc this past summer because Adobe Spark became express.adobe.com. And so I updated it with the new images and information like that. Is there anything else that I want to share from this document? Oh, you know what? I also want to share the Lincoln High Autoethnography project before we move forward. This was ethnic studies, autoethnography, and what this teacher did, Connie So, she had her students write an autoethnography, and then what happened was that some kids chose to, she linked it to Google Classroom, and then if you hit that link, what happens is it takes you to an Adobe Spark page that this kid set up for this essay, which makes it a much more interesting essay because it has a visual component. If you want to, by all means, I mean, if you want to, it just kind of is a powerful story, and you could use the Adobe stock images, you could use some original images, and use that tool that way. And so it's just a wonderful project. All right, so let's go on to the next slide here, and let's do a bit of a Jamboard. So how might you use any of this information at your site? What might it look like? What are some other resources that you think you need? Go ahead and jump to these Jamboards, mild, medium, or spicy Jamboard, and we'll come back and we'll look at them, and yeah, we'll see what you guys said. So a few minutes for that, maybe about 5 minutes to reflect on what you guys have seen, and how you're going to use it, maybe adapt it, or maybe use it the way it is. It's up to you. So go ahead and let us know. Go jump to the Jamboard and tell us what you're feeling, what you might take from this session. All right, thank you. Somebody's about to get, is that mild? That's mild. That's good. That's good too. So another 3 minutes to add to these Jamboards. Ah, really? Should be all right now for the spicy one. Should be all right now for the medium one. And it should be all right now for the mild one. You should have access now, Kamara. See if it works, please. Yeah? Great, great, great. Do you not have your district email yet? Is that the deal? Yeah. Yeah, that's. You must be the anonymous camel. It almost caught your name. All right. Who's getting spicy? Is some folks getting spicy? Uh-oh, nobody wants to get spicy. That's all right. All right. We'll give you a couple more minutes to populate these. All right, so I'm just simply gonna read some of these out loud. Unless you guys want to open your mic and read yours out loud, that would be great, actually, just to so that you don't hear me talk throughout the whole time. Go ahead, and we're gonna start with the mild. And if you could open up your mic and just share one of the pieces, we'll share a few from these Jamboards just to hear them out loud.
Sure, I don't mind reading out mine.
Thank you.
I'm more someone out of the classroom supporting coaching wise, but I would also like to connect with teachers that are using Seesaw both as home support and or maybe some independent work with word work or writing or reading, and having them kind of use that portfolio as like a summative way to collect data and also give feedback immediately, and or also feedback during conferences is one way that you can access some of these areas that support learning that's both independent or at home.
That's great. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's a link to like a Seesaw Portfolios doc within that mild, medium, and spicy piece. Please take a look at that, and I'll be adapting that as well as I learn a little bit more about how to use Seesaw as a portfolio tool. Anybody else would like to share from the mild spice? All right, well, I'll read one of these out loud. Somebody likes the Google Slides, ready-made art gallery and museum. Someone else said, because this will be my first year using digital portfolios with teachers I teach, I'm thinking that the simplest version is a great way to try out portfolios. Maybe around student goal setting and reading. Yeah, that's a perfect way. Yeah. And adapt these tools as you see fit, right? Reorganize them so that they fit and it makes sense to your space. Teachers are adapting and moving things around all the time. It's a beautiful skill we all have. So some special ed teacher said, I plan to use a visual museum and gallery to share student work with families. In the past, I sent families pictures of student work and it overloaded parent emails. By using a link to share, I can have you can share that with parents. All right, so I'm gonna go over to, thank you very much for engaging, folks, for coming in and looking at these things. We're gonna go over to the medium. Anybody from the medium grade, not spicy, not too spicy, not too hot. Can somebody open up their mic and share what they'd like to do, what they'd like to use?
Yeah, I meant to put mine in mild. I guess I put it on the
That's all right. Thanks for sharing.
pretty mild. I have kindergartners, and I'd like to use the portfolios to encourage oral language kindergartners and while they're presenting their work. So I'm thinking using the Seesaw.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a perfect tool for kindergartners. Anybody else from the medium?
I'm a third grade teacher, and I used Seesaw a lot during distance learning. And then when I came back in person, I just couldn't look at it again. And so
Right.
I'm gonna re-engage with it.
Right.
And again, try to use it more like a portfolio. In the past, it was just like to keep track of work for distance learning. And now I think I can see them like doing their wax museum speeches and having it permanently recorded as well as doing it live in person. So if caregivers can't come, they can still see it. Having kids like share like a math problem that they struggled with and they worked through and sort of reflect on it orally. I like that the previous teacher mentioning the oral language practice.
Yeah. And then also, well, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, and just for families that can't always make it to school for conferences or don't acknowledge that work has been sent home, you can have another tool for families to see what their kids are learning if they can't come into school.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Let me see if anybody got, unless anybody else wants to share from here. There's some Adobe Express.
Yeah, I want to share.
Yeah, please share, by all means.
So I put mine in medium because I teach middle school, and I think middle school is right in between.
Yeah, they are.
I really like Adobe Spark because it has a bunch of tools that you can use for video, photos, slideshows, digital collages. You can add
Yes.
voice, music, all that, and
Yeah.
all your work is created in a portfolio for you. So when students log in, everything they've done is right there.
Right,
And
it is. That's very
yeah,
true.
so it already has its own portfolio. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. And let's see if anybody is going to try to get spicy this year. Nobody's going to try to get spicy. Let's see if there's anybody on here. No, nobody wants to get spicy. That's okay. It's tough to get spicy. What I did want to show before we move on to the next thing, I didn't think that I was going to do this, but Seesaw folders as portfolios. If you could see that. This one is all Seesaw folders as portfolios, just so you know. A little bit of information on Seesaw portfolios. All right, we're gonna move forward. Thank you for engaging with that, everybody. And I have a session later. It's a workshop session that is going to focus on building out Adobe Spark portfolios. It's Zaretta Hammond's work is woven into it. It's called the Culturally Responsive Digital Portfolio, but it's also a culturally responsive media-rich portfolio. So the students are creating videos, they're creating collages, they're making media, and reflecting on that media. I think you. So the question from Rachel is, how do you share Adobe Spark portfolios with parents? Once you have created, so Adobe Spark portfolios. Let me actually, I want to jump to something right quick as we talk. Let's see, the express.adobe.com. Just to clarify, when these are all the things that you can create within the Adobe Spark portfolios. Essentially, though, it's an image maker, right? So the collage is the same as the graphic tool, is the same as, yeah. The video is the same as the explainer video. the newsletter, portfolio, and web page is the same thing. It's all just Adobe Pages. And so you hit that, and then what happens is, let's let the tool pop up. Right here is how you would share it and how you would create the link. So if I say hi, it'll register a little bit, and I'll show you how to share. So now I can share, right? Because I've added something to it. And so I go share, and then you publish and you share the link. And you could share it via publish and share link, save in progress. Okay, got it. All right. All right, so you pick a category, you put the author, you could put photo credits, and then you create link. And that's the link you share, right? And so you could copy that link and send that out to parents. That's how you would go about that. You can have the students submit it via Google Classroom, like that. All right.
Thank
No,
you.
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. By all means. That's a different session. That's not this one. That's a different session too. Okay. No. Oh man, where'd my document go?
A follow-up question, Doctor.
Yeah, what's up?
So then that link, is it once that Adobe web page is published, is that permanent so parents can go to that and I don't have to worry about deleting anything versus the Google Sites virtual museum and gallery?
So if the students create something, right? It's a portfolio, so it's a year-long thing, right? Or a semester-long thing. So let's say they create something in the first week, and then you revisit it again in the third week, and you have like another assignment that you want to post within this portfolio, and you want them to reflect on it. The one that you created today, you can update it. If you've changed it, you've added information to it, you can update it, and then the link will be the same link. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yes, that does answer my question. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So when I went to share, it'll have like a little bar over the top that says update link, and then it'll just update it. All right. So let's go. This is what we're doing right here. Let's see. Okay, so the culturally responsive digital portfolio tools. So part of the culturally responsive digital portfolio is inviting the student in and the things that they love to do. So this is one of my students from last year, and I have them create not only a portfolio about the different work that we've done in the class, but also an about me portfolio. And this kid, it was incredible last year. And she decided to add her artwork to her about me page. And so if you look underneath it, how long this artwork took, 26 hours and 10 minutes. Dee Lanier was talking about, we don't know that these kids are singers. We don't know that they're artists. We don't know that they're all these other things. And this is one way in designing an about me page. You get to see the kid in a different light. You get to see where their thrust and enjoyment for learning are exactly. But just the time that it took this girl to make these different pieces was amazing. Like this one took 16 hours. I don't know how she did it. I don't know what exactly went into it, but just the idea that this one young lady spent all this time developing this art, and yeah, it's just fantastic. I thought it was a wonderful use of a portfolio and what a portfolio should mean. Because it has to have meaning within, right? If it doesn't have meaning within, and I think we're talking about older students when I'm talking about this, but probably younger students as well. This is how you build in meaning to a portfolio. Now we have a little video. It's a short video about building an about me page. Let's see what we got.
This was our second
So can you guys hear this okay? Give me a thumbs up. Well, I don't know. Say I'm not sure.
Portfolio showcase.
Actually, we can't really hear it. If you could just
Wait.
share the sound. Sorry,
No. That's fantastic. Thank you. You can't hear it?
it's glitchy. At least on my end, it sounds a little glitchy.
Well, you
And I'm at school, so I'm not at home using my Wi-Fi, so it should be strong.
right. Let me go share screen one more. Let me pop up the right one. Thank you for stopping me midpoint.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Sorry about that.
No. Thanks. So you want people to hear, right? So I'm gonna select share sound. I'm gonna select my second desktop there, optimize for video clip. Now it's gonna be smooth sailing. And if it's not, it's only a 2-minute video. So all right, let's try again. Better?
So this was our second annual ePortfolio showcase.
My greatest achievement was when I won the Bay Area Science Fair. My experiment was on gray water, and I tested if plants grew with gray water. It turns out they did, and I learned a lot from this.
You know, when you're doing a writing process, I'm an English teacher, so the final process of writing is publishing, and this was the publishing. The impact of the ePortfolios, I would definitely say growth mindset. If you say it needs improvement, telling them what you'd like to see them change would be really helpful. One of our teachers had the kids in English take an old writing assignment, first post a picture of it originally, then do revisions and post that, and then reflect on the changes.
What I did was correct my drought essays and explain how I improved and how it helped me.
And I think there's nothing more culturally responsive than allowing students to bring themselves into an ePortfolio space. So many of the kids added an art page or a dance page. We had one student who had all of his coding, all his websites that he built.
I don't actually take classes, I'm just learning. I mostly do digital art, so here's my sketches.
So giving them space to be both an academic and a person, you know, all in one place. So this was definitely a community effort. I could not have done this alone. Just actually getting all of the ePortfolios ready, we hosted probably about 20 to 30 hours of workshops. So we have a site-based tech team that was helping me cover those workshops. And for the feedback boxes, we had our moderate to severe students actually help us out, and they covered them and made them so we could get all our feedback forms. We are very fortunate to have a really, really supportive administration who wants to see this grow, and that's been integral to all of this. Learning at school can often just be, you know, you memorize something, you take the test, you forget, and then you go to the next thing. And this makes it last. It's something you can look back at. It's something that teachers can next year say, hey, give me your ePortfolio link at the beginning of the year and see where kids are, students are, and grow from there. And that's where education is kind of headed. It's heading in a direction of more meaningful, project-based personal learning, and that's what this is.
All right. So that's that piece about, and now you get one more hyperdoc from me. I don't want to see that again. Specifically look at the reflection questions and the about me. Oh, maybe I have this information down here. So you guys are all still there, yeah? Okay. Tools for building reflection. There's a really wonderful 40 reflection questions document. You're going to fill out a form in just a minute where we have used the 40 reflection questions. This is a scaffolded reflection doc that I used with my students this past year. And what essentially it was there's the 40 questions, right? But I selected like 4 from each section. So in this 40 reflection questions doc, you have the backward looking questions, the inward looking questions, the outward looking questions, and the forward looking questions, because you want kids to look up and see if they're working like other people are working, or if they're going along their way a little bit differently than everybody else. And so this document helps with that. So there's also the scaffolded reflection doc. Let's see, was there more that I want to talk about? So go ahead and, take a few, we're almost out of time. So I'm going to say about 5 minutes to look at this doc, pay specific attention to the reflection questions doc, maybe the about me section. And let's put together. And so that takes you, so this document was the first one that I designed. And so there's some more scaffolds for building meaning into a portfolio. Here are the 40 reflection questions. There's the documentation tip jar that I got from MakerEd, which is pretty fantastic activity that I have yet to try out. There's the famous Austin's Butterfly video that talks about feedback and different feedback models. There's these 3 feedback models, and then building towards a community audience. Maybe you could use something called the Raft protocol. This assessment in Makerspaces, MakerEd put out about a collection of about 20 different studies that explored portfolios in Makerspaces, and that's where a lot of this information comes from. So go ahead and check this out for about 5 minutes, and then we'll close up. There's a few last minute things that we have to do, but go ahead and check it out. You guys are still there, yeah? I'll stop sharing. Okay, you guys are still there. And thanks, Latrice, again, for telling me to stop and start it again. I'm glad it got better. The link for the slide deck, Katie? Yes, by all means. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Is that the presentation? Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. As you guys finish looking at that document, I know I didn't give you much time, but we're at 10:48 already, and this time always flies. Go ahead and fill out this form, and this form actually asks you to reflect on this day and what you can take. So it looks like this. So go ahead and fill out this form in the next few minutes, and we'll close up at around, I'll make some last comments, like about 10:53 or so. And here's a link to the form in the chat as well.
Hi, Dr. Ricardo. I had a
Hi.
question
What's up?
about Adobe Spark.
Mhm.
I'm a first grade teacher and I haven't browsed through Adobe Spark. I'm wondering if it would be user friendly for them or a certain part of it that you think would be better for them to use.
The collage maker is really nice. That's probably pretty easy to use. Try that with them. Just the graphic maker, and then I would build off of that. Like if yeah, just have them make several like little posters or something like that to begin with. And once they get skilled and you think that they can go to the next level, maybe they can say something about their artwork and then they could record themselves. And it would just be like the snapshot of their artwork. And then like they would record like 10, 15 seconds. And then they would have that in the Adobe Spark. Like it has like like Google has their own drive. Adobe Spark also has a drive, essentially, right? And that's where all the stuff is housed. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes
Good
sense.
to have them start with the collage or just posting like a picture, and then eventually when they're comfortable with that, have them like talk about their picture or their work.
And the
And
plus
what
with
would
it
be
too.
like from collage and then audio, what would be a good like next step for them? 'Cause I'm thinking now like mid-year and perhaps like towards the end of
These
the
are first
year.
graders.
First graders, yes.
You know,
And then
I think maybe a cool thing to do would be to have them make their collage and then share it via Seesaw.
okay. Yeah,
And
they
then
my first graders, they've used Seesaw like throughout the year and they're
Right.
pretty good at that. And Seesaw, I'm wondering, because I know that they all have a folder of their own with all of their work. Is it possible to create a folder of highlighted work?
there
That's what I'm
is. Look at that document, and I think it goes through exactly how to do it. The mild to medium spicy doc takes you to a Seesaw link, and then, but I think the job might be the teachers to highlight the work, not the kids.
Okay, that sounds great. I'll look at that document and review the directions, and it might could be even something that, I conference with the student, and then we talk about their progress and what work they would want to put in their highlighted.
And by all means, if you have other questions, reach out. There's my email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, so we're gonna close out. I'm hoping everybody filled out the form. I'm gonna share the last couple pieces here. Let's see, and I'm hoping you guys can see that. Filled out the form. Hopefully you got some good tools. There's also the SFUSD digital portfolio website. I've run this PLC, and there's a workshop this afternoon that introduces this PLC as well, that goes into tools, specifically Adobe Spark, to build out the media rich portfolio for yourself first. So you get versed in the tools, and then you pass that information along to your students. But the PLC was funded before and it's no longer funded, so you would have to use your QTEA money. So this afternoon I'm presenting it, but I'm presenting it and seeing if there's interest in having like 1 or 2, 3 workshops throughout the year on this, and so just for your information. And it's also all the resources that I created for this PLC are also on this website. So there were like 6 sessions 2 years ago, and all that information is pretty up to date, I guess. Well, not up to date, but it's still very useful. So there's my closing. It's 10:54. Actually, before we close, any questions that you guys have? Okay. Let me look inside chat to see if there's any other questions there. Kamara, you could email me and I'll send you the slide deck for what I'm using today. And if you have further questions, by all means, please let me know. Let's see. So, all right. Yeah, it really is a lot of information. So closing, go ahead and give me some feedback. Tell me what I did well. Tell me what information you might use. I don't know what it's going to ask you. But thanks for coming, everybody. And once again, Dr. Ricardo Elizalde, digital learning partner with SFUSD. We are stopping about 5 minutes early. I'll stay on until 11. Yeah, thanks, everybody. Thanks. Hopefully some good information for you. I mean, send me what you do if you guys do something. It'd be fantastic to see what you guys develop. I'm glad, Michelle. Thank you. Latrice, thank you. Linda, thank you. Mr. Alias, thank you. Han, thank you.
I have a question.
What's up?
So I'm a SPED teacher,
Mhm.
and have you ever seen portfolios in an inclusion environment where students collaborated? I'm thinking having an inclusion project where gen ed students can come into my classroom and help my SPED students create their portfolios.
I haven't, but I'd be really interested in seeing that put together and helping along with it as well. What grade do you teach?
I teach 3 through 5.
Oh, wow. What school?
Sunnyside.
I haven't seen that done yet. You would be the trailblazer.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually a very good master's thesis. Thank you.
It is a very good master's thesis. Let me know how I can help, please.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
Very good. Let me know if you folks have other questions. Thank you, good people. Put my email in the chat as well. Still here, I'm putting it on the machine. All right. Oh yeah, I did stop sharing. All right, folks, I'm gonna close up this room, take a little break, come back at 11:15. I am doing a critically evaluating media session next. If you guys are welcome to come to that. Have fun with your day and don't take everything, just take some really concrete things that you can take into your classroom because there's a lot of information being thrown at you today. Ciao. You're very welcome, Rachel.